Welcome to NFL Talk. I'm Liam, and with me today is Olivia.
Hey, everyone.
You ready to break down this Falcons win over the Cowboys?
Oh, absolutely. This game was really interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Highlighted some big changes that might be happening in the NFC.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right away we saw Kirk Cousins having a great game.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, 19 of 24 completions.
Uh-huh.
Is this finally the quarterback Atlanta thought they were getting?
You know, it's not even just about the numbers with him.
Okay.
It's the way he's changed the entire feel of that team.
Oh, okay.
Like, his teammates keep talking about his leadership, how well he knows the game, and how he just stays calm even when things get crazy. You know, we got to remember, this is a team that hasn't had a winning season since 2017.
Right. Yeah. It really has been a while.
So to see this kind of turnaround,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like he's really becoming that leader they needed.
Yeah.
And you can't forget about that massive contract he signed. 4 years, $180 million.
Oh, yeah.
He must have seen something in the Falcons team.
He saw the potential, and it's starting to show. 5 wins out of 6 games. That's a serious statement.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're hungry for wins.
They are.
And Cousins is helping them get there.
He is.
And speaking of hungry, Tyler Allgeier really sealed the deal with that late touchdown run.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been so reliable for them all season.
He has.
And then there's Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Another amazing game, racking up yards, running the ball, and catching passes.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare for defenses to plan for.
Yeah, he really keeps them guessing.
He does.
So this Falcons offense is looking really versatile, even with Drake London's injury.
Uh-huh.
Losing him in the first quarter, that was a tough break.
It was, but their depth at receiver really came through.
He did.
Darnell Mooney had a phenomenal game.
He did.
88 receiving yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And we can't forget Ray-Ray McCloud. He got his first touchdown of the season.
Nice.
It's great to see that even without their star receiver, they can still make big plays.
Right on the other side, though, things aren't looking so good for the Cowboys. 3 losses in a row. That's their longest losing streak since 2020.
Wow, and when you think about it, that matches their total losses from each of the last 3 seasons.
It does.
This isn't the dominant Cowboys team we're used to seeing.
Nope. And then on top of that, Dak Prescott's hamstring injury.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say what's going to happen with that.
It is.
But even before the injury, there were some questionable decisions in this game. That fake punt.
Oh, and that CeeDee Lamb sweep on 4th down.
Yeah.
It felt like they were trying to get too fancy, and it really backfired.
It did.
Even their defense, which is usually so solid, they seemed off.
Yeah.
Like, Mooney's touchdown, 3 defenders got tangled up and just left them wide open.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of mistake from Dallas very often.
Right.
And they gave up 3 sacks, too, which is unusual for them, especially against a team that hasn't been getting a lot of sacks this year.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like things are unraveling a bit.
It does make you wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Are there problems with their strategy or coaching?
That's a good question.
It's definitely something to watch. Now, before we move on to the bigger picture, I want to talk about one player who really stood out for the Falcons. Caden Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
13 tackles, including a sack. He was everywhere.
He was a force. And what impressed me even more was how humble he was after the game.
Yeah.
Downplaying his own stats, talking about the team effort. That says a lot about the culture they're building in Atlanta.
It really does. It seems like they're finding their groove both on and off the field.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back for a second. We've seen some amazing plays, some surprising struggles. What stands out to you the most? What surprised you?
You know what really struck me is, honestly, the biggest thing for me is just how different the energy is between these two teams.
Yeah.
The Falcons are riding this wave of momentum, playing with confidence like they really believe in themselves.
Right.
And they're not letting setbacks get to them. Even losing a key player like London, they just adapt and keep pushing forward.
That's so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
That resilience. Like, they're not panicking when something goes wrong.
Right.
They're relying on their depth and that next man up mentality.
Exactly.
Mooney and McCloud really stepped up when London went down, and Robinson. He just keeps being a threat.
Yeah, and that confidence, I think it starts with good leadership.
Okay.
Cousins seems to have brought this belief that they can win no matter who they're playing.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys are kind of stuck in this downward spiral.
Yeah.
Prescott's injury definitely doesn't help.
It doesn't.
But even before that, they were making these weird mistakes that we're not used to seeing from them.
Almost like they're overthinking things, trying to be too clever instead of just focusing on playing good football.
I know, right? Like that fake punt and the Lamb sweep.
Yeah.
Those are some risky calls that didn't work out at all.
They didn't. And their defense, which is usually their strong point,
Yeah,
they look shaky.
they did.
Mooney scoring untouched like that. You got to wonder if they're starting to doubt themselves a little.
Yeah, when a team's on a losing streak like that, it's got to be tough to stay positive.
It is.
Yeah.
And with Prescott's injury, it just adds more pressure.
For sure. Especially with their next game against the Eagles.
Ugh, yeah.
A division rival that they need to beat if they want to turn things around.
They do.
But the Eagles are tough competition.
Oh, no, they are.
So it's not going to be easy.
This is a make or break game for them.
It is.
It'll determine where they stand in the division, but it's also about their morale.
Right.
Beating a team like the Eagles, that could be the spark they need to get their confidence back.
Yeah.
But if they lose, it could really send them into a tailspin.
The Falcons, on the other hand, they have a chance to really solidify their lead in the NFC South.
Okay.
When they play the Saints next week.
Right.
They already beat them once this season.
Yeah, but it was close.
It was.
And you know those divisional games are always intense.
They are.
The Saints are going to be looking for revenge.
Oh, yeah.
This will be a real test for the Falcons to see if they can handle the pressure.
It's crazy how quickly things can change in the NFL.
I know, right?
A few weeks ago, the Falcons were underdogs, and the Cowboys were Super Bowl contenders.
Uh-huh.
Now it feels like the roles are reversed.
That's what makes this league so exciting.
It does.
Every week is a new challenge, new opportunities.
Yeah.
And the teams that can adapt and deal with the tough times, those are the ones that end up on top.
So true. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's talk about one performance that really stood out.
Yeah.
Caden Ellis.
Oh, he was incredible.
He was unbelievable. 13 tackles, a sack, that crucial stop on 4th down.
Yeah.
He was all over the field.
It's inspiring to see a player step up like that and make such a big difference.
And he was so humble about it after the game.
He was.
Not making it about himself at all. Just praising his teammates.
That really says a lot about his character.
It does. He's definitely a team-first guy.
Yeah,
And that kind of attitude can spread to the whole team.
it can.
It really feels like the Falcons are building something special in Atlanta. A culture of hard work resilience. Putting the team first.
That's a recipe for success.
It is. Now let's zoom out a little and think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does this win mean for the Falcons' playoff hopes?
Right.
Can the Cowboys turn things around? These are the questions we'll be exploring as we continue our deep dive. It's safe to say the Falcons are doing better than anyone expected.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people thought they'd have another losing season,
Right.
but they are proving everyone wrong.
They really are. And it's not just that they're winning.
Yeah.
It's how they're doing it.
Right. They're playing with so much heart,
Mm-hmm.
like a totally different team than we've seen in years.
It really is a team effort, too.
Yeah.
You've got Cousins leading the way,
Uh-huh.
but everyone's contributing. Allgeier's doing the dirty work. Robinson is always a threat.
Yeah.
And the receivers are stepping up.
Yeah. And that defense,
Right.
which everyone thought would be their weak spot,
Yeah.
it's been amazing.
Caden Ellis is a perfect example.
He is.
He's been incredible.
You got to give the coaching staff some credit, too.
Oh, for sure.
They've figured out how to use everyone's strengths.
They've created a system that works,
They're working.
and the players are responding.
All right, let's switch gears for a minute and talk about the Cowboys.
Okay.
It's early in the season, but that 3-game losing streak, it's a little worrying.
It is. The big question is what's causing it?
Right.
Is it just a slump, or is there something more serious going on?
They've definitely been hit hard by injuries.
They have Prescott's hamstring is just the latest one,
Uh-huh.
and they've had other important players out too.
Yeah.
But even with that, there have been some uncharacteristic mistakes.
Yeah, especially on offense.
I know. The play calling has been strange at times.
I know, like that fake punt.
Yeah, and the lamb sweep.
Like they're trying to be too tricky
Exactly.
instead of just sticking to what works.
Right.
They need to keep it simple,
Yeah.
run the ball well, protect the quarterback,
Uh-huh.
play solid defense.
Uh-huh.
They have the talent. They just need to execute.
And they need to stay positive.
Oh, absolutely.
Losing streaks can be really tough mentally.
They can.
The leaders on this team need to step up and keep everyone's spirits up.
That next game against the Eagles is going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
A chance to prove they're still a top team in the NFC East.
But the Eagles are no joke.
They are. It's
And they'll be coming in with a lot of confidence.
going to be a battle.
It is.
So we've learned something important today.
What's that?
The NFL season is full of surprises.
Yo, true.
Teams we thought would be great are struggling.
Yeah.
And teams no one expected much from are exceeding expectations.
That's what makes it fun to watch.
It reminds us that anything can happen in this league.
Every game is a new opportunity.
Yeah.
The teams that can adapt, overcome challenges, and keep believing in themselves, those are the teams that succeed.
And we'll be here all season long,
We will.
breaking down all the biggest storylines.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.